What is going on, Halo fans? This is Vintage Gaming here, and here is another Halo Infinite gameplay update. Today I want to talk about the Spartan abilities that were revealed to us in the campaign premiere for Halo Infinite. This premiere took place at the Xbox Series X event on July 23rd of 2020, just 2 days ago at the time of making this video. With that, let's get right into it. So the first armor ability that I want to talk about is Sprint. And I know Sprint can be a very controversial topic amongst the Halo community. Classic players don't like it. Modern players don't mind it. Regardless, Sprint entered the Halo series when Bungie was still making Halo in Halo Reach. This came out over 9 years ago. It received mixed reviews when it came out in Reach, and it continues to have mixed reviews in 2020 with Halo 4, Halo 5, and now with Halo Infinite. However, in Halo Infinite's campaign premiere, it seems to be that Sprint is actually nerfed. It's not as fast as Halo 5 or Halo 4. Sprint really doesn't seem that much faster than the walking speed in Halo Infinite. I think this is a balancing thing just to maybe satisfy the people who want Sprint and maybe try to satisfy the classic players that do not want it. They kind of nerfed it to make it appeal to both sides, but we'll see how that plays out when we see multiplayer gameplay. The sprint doesn't seem to have a ticker or a timer, so it does appear that you can sprint for a long period of time, if not forever. This kind of makes sense with the open world design, and you might need to cover a lot of ground, and sprinting will just make it that much quicker. It remains to be seen if it's an equipment that you can pick up in multiplayer or if it is a base mechanic for your Spartan. So we'll have more info on that as we see more Halo Infinite gameplay. Hopefully see some multiplayer gameplay in the near future. But at this time, we don't know. Maybe Sprint's only in campaign, only in the open world environment, but we will see. However, it appears to be a base Spartan ability. The next Spartan ability that I want to talk about is Thrust. Thrust was introduced in Halo 4 and Halo 5. Overall, I'm kind of okay with Thrust. I don't think it adds too much to the game other than your typical gunfights. I think it's a nice little twist to your strafe. It's definitely something different, and I'm very neutral on Thrust ability. Can't really tell how overpowered it is from the campaign video because they only used Thrust maybe twice, and it was on campaign enemies. I would really like to see the Thrust ability from the perspective of a Spartan who's shooting at another Spartan. The opposing Spartan uses Thrust as a part of their strafe, and I would like to see how it affects the gameplay and if it's much more difficult to hit your shots against your opponent and counter their strafe with good shots. But you can't really tell from the campaign video, so more information remains to be seen on the Thrust ability. The next ability that was demonstrated in the demo was Clamber. And Clamber is a lot like Thrust in my opinion. I'm pretty neutral on it. It definitely does not tie into the classic Halo feel. It makes Halo feel like a typical modern shooter, like Apex Legends, like Titanfall, like Far Cry, like all these different games that have your typical slide, clamber, sprint mechanics. However, the clamber should make exploring the map easier. And if there are a lot of things to explore, it might just be easier to just clamber on things. And that way you can get to more spots quicker and try to find little Easter eggs or little gifts that 343 will have scattered throughout the map. Terminals, skulls, who knows what we'll see. It could tie in pretty well to the open world environment. Again, I'm pretty neutral on clamber. I don't think it will affect the game multiplayer-wise as much as people think. However, it does not feel like classic Halo. The last ability I want to touch on is the grapple hook. I'm pretty excited for the grapple hook. It appears that you can use it in 3 ways. One is when you're opposing an enemy. When you grapple to the enemy in the trailer, the Spartan Master Chief used to grapple a brute, it'll actually pull you towards the enemy, and I just think that'll be really fun to use when you have like an energy sword or a gravity hammer and be able to pull yourself towards people and get easy melee kills. When it comes to items, such as the fusion coil in the trailer, you actually pull those items to you, and then with the fusion coil, you'll be able to throw it at enemies, which is pretty cool. I think that's a really good element that adds to the sandbox without breaking it. I think that it'll add a nice twist to things, and we should see a lot of really cool content come out with people who really use the grapple and those fusion coils. And who knows, I have no idea what else we'll be able to pick up, but it should be fun to find out. I also think the grapple obviously can be used for map movement. This kind of ties in with Clamber. With the big open world environment that Halo Infinite's going to be, having a grapple hook in Clamber will just make moving around the map very easy. And especially since they've got like a Minecraft theme going on, the rigid landscape, the grapple hook and the Clamber should really help players explore the map. The grapple hook does not look overpowered like Pathfinder. I'd say it's small to medium range, just based on the campaign reveal that we were seeing in July 23rd, but it should make exploring the map fun and add a nice little twist to the sandbox and multiplayer gameplay. Overall, when I think about the 4 abilities mentioned in this video, I still do not like Sprint. I started playing Halo in 2006. No Sprint is the best Halo in my opinion. However, I don't think this Sprint breaks the game, but then again, we have a lot of gameplay that remains to be seen. I will put out more videos once I see more gameplay, especially when we see multiplayer gameplay. I'm neutral about Thrust and Clamber. I think Thrust adds a nice little zest to gunfights, which I'm all for. It kind of increases the skill gap, which again, I'm all for. And I think Clamber, while it's not classic Halo, it could make exploring the map a lot easier. Same thing with the grapple hook. However, I'm actually very excited for the grapple hook because I think it'll add a very nice twist to not only map movement, but also the sandbox and utilizing the sandbox. I think that'll be really fun, and I'm pretty excited for the grapple hook. But overall, don't like Sprint, neutral about Thrust and Clamber, but I really am looking forward towards the grapple hook. And with my last closing statement, guys, I think it's pretty clear that we will never have classic Halo again. This game was probably my holding out hope that 343 would revert back to classic Halo with no Spartan abilities. But at this time, I mean, they've pretty much drawn a line in the sand. We could be limited to these 4 abilities, but I doubt it. I just think if you're a Halo fan now, I think you just have to embrace the change and adapt. And hopefully all the other aspects of Halo, like the art style, the story, the multiplayer, can kind of go back to their roots and have a good experience for classic and modern Halo fans. Well, with that being said, that's going to do it for me this video. If you like the content, feel free to support the channel, and I will catch you guys next time.